Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Annie Nova, your favorite retired train wreck here. And if you are coming to live in Korea and apartment hunting, chances are you're probably gonna get scammed. So watch this video so you don't get scammed. For reference, I've lived in Korea for 5 years. I have lived in all four corners of this city. I have, in my opinion, seen it all, and that includes all of the scams that you can come up with. So today I'm gonna tell you all of the scams that you may encounter, how to recognize them, and how not to fall for them. So how it usually works in Korea is apartments come and go very quickly here, okay? So if you're someone who's like, oh, in 6 months I want to have an apartment, no one will come see you. No one will show you an apartment, okay? You need to be able to move into an apartment within a month and a half max. This is why it's also a good idea to look online every single day, because every single day there are new apartments. There are also apartments that are gone. That will transition us into the first scam that my real estate agent, ex-real estate agent, tried to pull on me, where he told me, oh, contact me a week before you want to move, a week before you need to move into a new apartment. This is a tactic that is used by real estate agents who are not very good at their job, don't care, they just want the commission. So basically what they're gonna do is make sure that you are backed into a corner. Let's say that your lease is ending at your previous apartment, you need to move. So you are more likely to just say yes to an apartment that may not fit the right criteria. So he doesn't have to put in as much work to find your perfect apartment because you feel pressured to sign for something. And that's exactly what he was trying to do. Except in my case, I was staying at a Airbnb / guest house, and I was able to like constantly renew the place. Which I ended up doing because he was awful and terrible and useless. So basically, if you are fresh off the boat, fresh off the plane in Korea, definitely book a flexible hotel, Airbnb, whatever you need to do so that you can search in your own time. Obviously make sure that it's, you know, an Airbnb that you can afford, but it's better to do it that way than to settle for an apartment that isn't the right fit for you, especially if a realtor is trying to like say, oh, come to me within a week. No, like that's not normal. Like I mentioned, I had a scam real estate agent, and I had actually previously used him for my Gangnam apartment. I'll link my apartment tour on here, but honestly, he didn't really do much. I knew I wanted to live in that building. My friend lived in that building, and she had used that real estate agent to do all the paperwork. So I was like, oh, okay, like this makes it easy. He somewhat spoke English, so I was like, I'll just use you, you can have the commission, whatever. Not that he helped me do anything, but I had his cacao. So when I decided that I wanted to move back to Korea, because I left Korea for like 2 months and then I was like, actually, I want to come back. So I came back, I hit him up, and he hit me with the, oh yeah, just tell me a week before you need to move into an apartment, we'll start looking then. But obviously I am a planner, and I start sending him links to apartments because I'm being proactive, and I am looking at apartments. I'm finding these really pretty apartments that are exactly what I want, big windows, exactly what I want now. In fact, I sent him the link to this exact apartment. You know what this man tells me? He's like, oh, I called them and they said that this apartment is not available anymore. Someone else rented it. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. It's a nice apartment, decent price. Of course someone got it. But then my women's intuition kicked in, and I was like, let me call them myself. So basically on Naver Budangsan, which is, by the way, one of the biggest real estate websites, this is where I personally found this apartment. You scroll to the bottom of the apartment listing, it will have the person who listed it, so the real estate agent who listed its phone number. So I messaged them and I was like, hey, I'm interested in this listing. Is it still available? And he was like, yeah, it's available. When do you want to come see it? I went to see it and the rest is history, obviously, like now I'm here. But before I knew that this man was basically trying to scam me out of my dream apartment, he was showing me the most ugliest apartments I've ever seen in my life. They were all old. I think I even still have footage of one of the apartments he showed me. It was old, it was ugly. It had big windows, which I told him like that was a non-negotiable, but it was like facing another building. And I was like, what is the point? Like no direct sunlight. It had nothing that I wanted. And he tried to tell me that this was a really highly desirable apartment and an amazing location, and someone else is actually coming to see this place, so you should sign for it right now. Of course, and thank God I didn't. Like I said, he was trying to do the whole like, oh, you know, you have to move into somewhere in a couple of days, so it might as well be here, hee ha ha. I ghosted him after I found out that this apartment was still available. I ghosted him. He actually messaged me 2 weeks later after I had signed the contract for this place, and he was like, oh, by the way, did you still want to like move into the place that I showed you, the ugly place? Oh, you mean the one that apparently is going to go away really quickly, like right after this viewing is another viewing? I wonder why in this economy this apartment is still empty after 2 weeks. So what I later realized was this scammer real estate agent would have had to have split the commission for this apartment with the person that actually listed it. So instead of splitting the commission, he wanted the full commission. So this is all just money for him. So there was no care, there was no nothing. It was just selfish intentions, and I wish him the worst. So that was my personal experience. So let's now move on to some common scams that I've heard about, have seen, my friends have gone through. Number one is the switch and bait. Remember how I found my apartment online and I thought it was a scam? I thought it was a switch and bait scam, where basically they will post a really nice picture of an apartment so that you contact them, you arrange a viewing, but on the day of the viewing, the real estate agent will be like, oh, sorry, the apartment's gone, but I have something super similar. However, the apartment never existed in the first place. They just wanted you to turn up and are now going to show you ugly, less nice apartments. And like I said, I genuinely thought this place was a switch and bait. Thank God it wasn't. So you never know. Number two, which is an insane thing to do, is the Airbnb scam, where basically someone will rent an Airbnb, then they will come and show you this Airbnb, but they will tell you like, oh, I'm the landlord, whatever, make you sign a fake contract and pretend to give you the keys or whatever, pretend to give you the door code, and then on the day that you try to move in, someone else is in the Airbnb because it's an Airbnb. This of course only happens with like actual scammers, like no licensed real estate agent is ever going to do that, but it can happen. Number three, already covered, time limit. They try to really pressure you. Don't let them say 1 week before you can. I think I had to wait a month and a half before I could move into this apartment so that the previous tenant could move out. So if anyone tells you, no, you can't move in before like a week, that's a lie. Scam number four is when a real estate agent sees that you don't know anything about Korean apartments, and they will just show you the most ugliest, dilapidated, old buildings that they can because they want to get rid of them. No Korean will want to live in them, and there's a good reason for that. So they try to get foreigners to live in the places that no one else wants to live. Don't fall for it. If you think that, this looks kind of weird, this has mold, this has cockroaches, this is not normal, and don't do it. Don't let them pressure you. Don't let them tell you anything, okay? And number five, landlords who are in debt. Now, this is why actually you need a good real estate agent, because real estate agents have like access to all of the records to see if a landlord has a history of debt, a history of going bankrupt, because a lot of the times here in Korea, the deposit is really high, around $7,000 to $8,000. That is the average. So if you're giving someone a lump sum, you want them to be financially literate. You want them to be good with money, right? So you need a real estate agent to double check that. So if your landlord that you're trying to rent an apartment from has in the past filed bankruptcy 5 times, what are the chances that you're gonna get your $8,000 back? And to finish off this video, I'll do a little story time of another person that this scammer real estate agent messed over. So I used to live in this building in Gangnam that had a lot of foreigners, and you know, word gets around, and I guess this real estate agent guy was the one bringing in all the foreigners, right? So basically he told one girl in my building that pets were allowed, and because he speaks English, because he's your real estate agent, you're going to trust what he says. Like, why would he lie, right? So basically, he just wanted her to sign. He didn't care. So he told her, yeah, you can have pets. She had a dog. She moved in with her dog. She signed everything. Ugh, she didn't read the contract all the way through. Name, date of birth, tenancy, lease. That's all she read. But apparently, dogs were not allowed, and a couple months into her living in her apartment with her dog, someone snitched on her, and then the landlord contacted her, and they were like, hey, you're not allowed a dog in the apartment, it says it in your contract, and she got kicked out. When she contacted this scammer real estate agent, he was like, oop, I don't know, none of my problem. And I only found that out after he tried to scam me out of this apartment. One of my other friends who used to live in the same building told me, because they were friends, like the girl with the dog and my friend were friends. That's how I heard about the story. But I wish him the worst. I hope he goes bald. I hope he stubs his toe every single morning. And yeah, I hope I could cover absolutely every single scam there is that anyone can fall for. And I hope you found this entertaining, informative, all of the above. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.